talking about. Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys. What are you talking about?
And we are live here. Welcome into the Arena, Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast, episode 143. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. How you guys doing, Burley?
I'm doing good. How are you, Expat?
I'm doing good, man. There was in my home city here in Japan, they had the grand opening for the light rail transit, the new light rail transit that's going through my main street here where I live. And so they had this big parade. It's like, I can't understand how like thousands of people can stand out in 35-degree heat and just wave flags and have these like yellow shirts on, that symbolizes the colors. And I mean, just, yeah. And then, there was like a ribbon cutting ceremony and all that stuff. The mayor is, standing out there and giving speeches, and everybody's just like, come on, let us on the train. It's just crazy. It is crazy, man. It just, but I mean, so a lot of people think it's going to be good for the city, but then again, a lot of people also think that it's a waste of money to be spending when they could be spending on other things like education and other programs. But we'll see how it works. We have a big Honda factory out here, and so a lot of the workers that go to Honda will probably be commuting on the light rail transit now. So, but so that was the big spectacle of the day out here. Carl, how you been doing, man?
Things have been good. It's been a while since I've been here, so
yeah,
good to be back. Good to talk the games.
Yeah,
with the boys here.
Yeah,
my daughter was sick, and that was very stressful. And work has been, just weird with scheduling, but we got that sorted out. So cool. things will be set, and still working on the house.
Nice.
A lot of work cleaning up. There's so much crap left in that house.
I see. All right. Well, it's good to have you back, and it's good Burley are here as well. So we got a good show for you. We're going to be talking about Microsoft and Ubisoft. We're going to be talking about the PlayStation Portal, that news that dropped this week, and then we're going to talk about Starfield, New Game Plus, some information on that, and then we're going to talk about Gamescom, what we liked about it, what we might not have liked about it, the hits and misses that came out of Gamescom this week. So we're going to talk about that, and of course our picks of the week for the week of August 28th through September 3rd. So and we're going to talk about the games that we've been playing, but before we do that, here's a brief word about where you can find our podcast in audio and video formats.
Before the crew discuss what they have been playing, this episode of The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast's ad-free version, in audio and video formats, will be going to Patreon after being recorded. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry Tier 1 level at $1 per month and get every episode including exclusive ad-free post-show content in video format when recorded, please visit patreon.com/thearenaproductions for further details. The audio version of the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, and in the video version, it will be on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. For the audio version, just download your favorite podcast app and search for The Arena, a Multiplatform Gaming News Podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Productions, where you can join and chat with the Arena Productions community, and the podcast audio website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. For all information regarding the podcast and our entertainment and pop culture related content, along with our blog and forums, visit the official website of The Arena Productions at www.thearenaproductions.com. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at The Arena AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at The Arena Productions. Now, back to the show.
Okay, guys, I've been playing more at Diablo 4, and I'm going to get back into live streaming again. So I'm going to be probably later this weekend or early at the beginning of next week. I'm going to start streaming again. So you can watch me stream Diablo 4. So yeah, just grinding away on that, guys. So yeah, it's still fun. Burley, how about you? What have you been playing this past week?
I've been playing some Diablo 4. I started up like a seasoned character and been working my way. I'm near the end of Act 2.
Oh, nice.
I'm on a very, very tough boss in Diablo 4, Astaroth. For anyone that has fought, you know that boss takes a while.
Yeah.
And get yourself as much fire-resistant gear as you can, because every attack is fire-based. And
yeah.
especially if you're playing Necromancer and you can't take hits.
Yeah. Anything else you've been playing besides Diablo 4?
A little bit of Ratchet and Clank on the Steam Deck.
Okay. Nice.
I haven't had as much time gaming this week, as you know, from what I had to do for the last couple of days during this week.
Yeah. Those of you that watch the Arena Productions Live that we do Monday through Friday, Burley mentioned that during the time, but I see. So when are you going to pick up Baldur's Gate 3, Burley, on Steam Deck?
I've been tempted. I just sold a bunch of trading cards on Steam, so that gives me a little more in the Steam wallet, so it costs me a little less. So I'm just waiting. Probably Monday. By Monday, I'll have caved and bought it.
I see.
Well, let us PS5 version.
Yeah, Burley. Yeah, you get both versions.
Yeah.
PS5 version and then the Steam Deck version when you're on the go. Yeah. So
there you go. If we're wanting that, come on, super chats start coming rolling on in, or the Patreon starts really kicking up.
Exactly. Sure. Yeah. Carl, you playing Baldur's Gate 3?
I am. Yeah. I picked that up a while ago now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing it on PC, of course. Not out anywhere else yet. I do have a PC that I play games on every once in a while. So.
Mm-hmm.
I did have to mess with the settings to get it to, perform well. Like I just tried it out at like whatever settings it said.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know about this. It seemed okay early on, but then I got into a fight in a bigger area with more enemies. I was not having it. So
I see.
I chunked it down a bit, and I limited it to 30 FPS on a PC. Yes, I said 30 FPS on a PC.
Mm-hmm.
But it's running nice like that. I don't mind. It's
cool.
It's a solid 30. It's not like it's running poorly at that point. So
nice.
And I think I'm running 1440p. Sorry, 14. Yeah, 1440.
1440. Nice.
Yeah. So it's looking. It's a nice looking game. It's obviously not super intensive. But when there's a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of interesting things that you can do in this game, and I get, so have you heard the news about the Xbox version is coming this year, they said?
This year, supposedly, yeah.
The dev said it's coming this year, and they said that the Series S version won't have the co-op. The split screen co-op.
Right. The S version, right?
Yes, the S version. So it looks like Microsoft gave in to this parity idea and said, okay, in this instance, this type of thing, you don't have to do it, because
Burley's out of luck.
Well,
because Burley has the S.
The thing is, you can play co-op online.
Right.
So who cares? You're missing out on local co-op. Okay, who's really going to do that for Baldur's Gate 3? I'm sure the number of people is pretty low.
Yeah.
And Burley, you can't do that on your Steam Deck anyway, because that feature is disabled on there as well.
Yeah, but I have gaming PCs that I could do it.
Well, sure, but the point is, it's not just the S that can't handle the local co-op. Even the Steam Deck, it's like a thing. So
yeah.
And I understand why, because when playing this game, you can do some things I wouldn't have expected. So I could see why in co-op this would be a problem on a lower powered machine, because you can have your characters doing something somewhere, and if you split your party up, and you have those other characters, do you leave them somewhere? They're there, and you can click on them, and the game will switch to where they are, and it'll leave everything alone over there. And if you were in the middle of combat, you're still in the middle of combat over there. But your other character, he's just walking around, talking to people, doing whatever. And then you switch back and you're back in combat. If you walk that character to where the other guys are, then he'll roll initiative and join the combat. It's really cool. It's something I've never seen a game do something like that. Usually in those instances, it's like, all right, that other character is just forget it. Like you're in combat is combat, and you can't get out of it, right?
Yeah.
Once you finish the combat.
Now
so that's like really intensive. I can imagine for processing and memory and things you need to make your system do that.
Okay, now Carl, I want to ask you this because Burley and I in the last episode we talked about this, about Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say it's going to be game of the year. And I said that it'll probably win best RPG of the year, but it will not win game of the year. What are your thoughts on this?
All right. It's a tough one because I am not super far in the game, right? Because I have this, it's the type of game like a Elder Scrolls and a Fallout and hopefully a Starfield, where I like to keep starting new characters and like playing the early part of the game and trying out different things and just kind of see like the different stuff that can happen, right? The different directions I can go, the choices, and just like different builds and stuff early on, just to get a feel for all that stuff. So like I keep doing that, right? It's like I want to see where the story goes and how things get. But I've probably spent maybe 20 some odd hours or so, maybe a little more. I would say it's a contender. It's going to be tough. I know. I'm a little surprised actually that the reviews are as high as they are because this game has bugs. This game has glitches. This game has quirkiness that I think some people might not be happy about. But it is one of those type of games, right? Where like an Elder Scrolls and Fallout, where it's so good in what it does and its uniqueness and what it's presenting that you don't care as much. You're like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like I did this weird thing and it looked odd, right?
Yeah. Well, a game that massive, I mean, obviously there's going to be glitches and bugs like that.
Yeah.
So.
And the sheer amount of like shenanigans you can cause in this game, like I'm not surprised and I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Streamers is like Burley. I mean, the streamers are having a field day with this game right now. I mean, they're just, it's a massive, massive community right now.
Yeah.
So, and extensions, right, Burley? I mean, they have like all these Baldur's Gate extensions that you can put on your stream, so.
There's quite a few extensions and there's just so much stuff people can do with this. It's just as a content creator, it's just insane. It's just unfortunate. By the time when this game came out, I was in the midst of a few other games, and then I've got a certain game coming up next week and Starfield the next week out after. It's been like
it's crazy.
I'm
crazy
honestly
time.
And with what's coming out, it's like I'm thinking next year I'm going to stream this early.
Okay.
Yeah. But what I could say about like why the game is great, right? I mean, it's because the story is really well written, right? The characters are really interesting. All your main party member characters are great. I love them all. I want to interact with them. I want to find out about their story. They all have some like weird, interesting aspects, some personal story going on, that's something that they're dealing with. And they have sort of interactions and relationships with other people in the world that you're going to run into.
Right.
Which is great. It's really cool. And then there's a ton of customization. I mean, it's D&D 5.5e, right? So it's got all of the things. It's literally D&D. Like it's pretty much every rule from the tabletop game, which I play, is in there with some tweaks, right? They made some changes here and there to make it more fun as a video game, right?
Right.
But ultimately, everything that I know about D&D pretty much applies to this game, which is so cool for me. I love the sort of dice rolling thing that they do. That's really fun. I enjoy the idea that like when you have to like roll a skill check, right? If I want to use intimidation in a dialogue choice, right, or persuasion or whatever, it shows you the die roll, but before it rolls the die, it says, all right, you have +2 because of your charisma, and you have +2 because of your proficiency, and then you can add other modifiers. If I cast a certain spell, like the thaumaturgy cantrip, I get a plus, I get advantage, right, on that roll, which means I get 2 dice rolls and I pick the higher one. guidance is a great spell, a cantrip, which you can use to guide any skill check roll and add a 1d4 to the roll, and it shows you all that on the screen, and then the die rolls, and it adds all the numbers, and it's just, to me, that's really satisfying because that's D&D, right?
Yeah.
And then the combat is turn-based combat, and it is D&D's turn-based combat. There's no grid though, and they managed to do it incredibly well without the grid, and the liberties they take probably makes it a little bit more fun. And there's a ton of verticality, right? So you can climb up a lot of things. You can push people off things to do tons of damage and fall. Mm-hmm. There's also a feather fall spell. So if you are worried about getting knocked off something, you can cast that spell so you don't take fall damage. It's a fantastic game. You can be so creative in how you attack enemies and defeat combats, and you can be sneaky and try to sneak up and assassinate enemies before the combat even starts because they're not, hostile to you yet. It's a fantastic game. It should be getting all the credit and accolades it is right now. And will it be best RPG of the year? I think that also depends on Starfield because that's an RPG too. So.
Okay. So, yeah, we'll talk about Baldur's Gate 3 more. Maybe we'll be doing an extra take in the near future on it, so we shall see. So next up, let's talk about Microsoft. So let me go ahead and get the article up for all of you. So Microsoft to sell off Activision Cloud Gaming rights to Ubisoft in bid for UK approval. So, Carl, I'm going to throw this to you because you are the Xbox and Microsoft expert here. So I'm just kidding.
I'm the paid enthusiast, right? Got that paycheck coming.
Paid, yeah. So anyway,
if I don't get my paycheck, I'll say something bad. Okay, Microsoft, you're listening.
Yeah. So anyway, so they're giving them to Ubisoft. They're giving the cloud gaming to Ubisoft. That's interesting. But this deal, they're completely restructuring it basically to try to get it done, to appease the CMA. So go ahead and take it away, Carl. So tell us your thoughts and what's going on here.
Yeah, it is interesting. So they are, it's the rights for the Activision Blizzard games, right? So the way it seems it's going to play out, I assume, is that they will be published by Ubisoft on whatever streaming services, right? Which is kind of odd in that, like, I guess Call of Duty will be published by Ubisoft when you stream it on, I guess, xCloud as well.
Yeah, and I'm showing here the trailer for Modern Warfare 3 that was shown off at Gamescom. Anyway, so.
Yeah, and this makes sense in a lot of ways if you want to, really appease the CMA. I don't think it's necessary. This never would have happened. Of course, neither of these companies would have cared to do something like this. It seems a little complicated, but it doesn't change anything that Microsoft's doing with Game Pass. It doesn't change Microsoft's previous deals with NVIDIA, Boosteroid, and those other companies, right? Right. And there's amount of Microsoft getting money out of this as well for this. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be mutually beneficial, and it's going to probably make the deal go through with the CMA. And
the deadline's October 18th, right? So how will this affect the timeline? Do you think it will be done sooner, or do you think they're gonna just wait and wait until October 18th and then say, okay, it's done?
Well, whenever they're ready, I think the CMA might be ready. But then there was a story that the European Union's board wanted to look at this again because of this new part of the deal. So who knows? Maybe it'll hit the deadline. Maybe it'll be pushed a little bit further again. But I think at this point, it's an inevitability, right? That this deal is going to go through.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the way it's going to be. And Ubisoft, and this is only a limited time, right? What was it, 15-year deal, I believe?
15.
Yeah. So, honestly, I think Microsoft, having all the data they have on their cloud stuff, and what we even heard ourselves from the what do you call it, the hearings, right? Is that cloud gaming is incredibly small and it's not growing very quickly.
Yeah.
So this isn't really a loss to them. They're still going to get these games on their cloud service. They're just going to have another partner to deal with, to work with.
Right.
But it makes their partners happy because I'm sure I'm sure they got a nice deal.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think that they would have done this for something that would have been, risky for them. Right. So I'm sure they're all feeling good about it. And they're going to make the CMA feel good that they got something out of it.
Right.
It's
a win-win situation for all.
Right.
I guess.
Yeah.
So,
And for the consumers, it's probably going to be no change at all. We won't even notice it.
Yeah. But Burley, what about PlayStation and all of this?
Oh, you just wait. Jim Ryan and I have come up with a plan.
These guys.
We've come up with a plan. It's going to destroy Microsoft. They'll come begging.
No, honestly, I don't think they're worried about that at all, Burley.
I'm sure.
PlayStation's going to be just fine. Yeah,
I'm sure Sony's going to be fine. Besides all their bitching and crying they do on all this stuff, it's just like I'm sure they're not exactly happy about this, but at the same time, I know Ubisoft is happy to have this.
Oh yeah,
this. I'm sure Ubisoft got a wicked deal on this because Ubisoft is not doing so great right now. But to get something like this, to have something for them in the future they could use.
Yeah. Like in the next 10 years or so, it might be taking off by then. So,
Oh yeah. Like cloud gaming is still, it's not taking off because there's so many factors of you need good internet. And even if you have really good internet, you're still on certain types of games. You're going to get input lag and all that. So for like a game like Call of Duty, for example, I don't know if I'd want to cloud game it. I know it sucks downloading these games because of how massive they are and how much storage they eat. But doing this cloud where you need peak performance and no input lag, no.
Yeah.
But we'll see over the next couple of years how big this becomes.
Yeah. I think it's like moving, at a snail's pace at the moment, but it'll start to pick up when the technologies, start to change and all. But yeah, I agree with Carl. I mean, this is just inevitable. It's like the clock is ticking down, and we know what's going to happen. So whether or not it's October 18th or it's in September, I think it's going to be sooner. But hopefully, we shall see. But yeah, I mean, this is a win-win for everybody. So hats off to Microsoft for trying to get this thing done and to appease the CMA as well as to make everybody else happy. So nice.
Yeah, just lock this deal up and let's move on.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready to just move on to the next big thing.
I agree. I want this deal done. I'm tired of both sides. In all honesty, tired of Microsoft keep having to justify themselves. Sony acting like little childrens that didn't get the toy they wanted. I'm tired of it all.
Yeah, that's for sure. So.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's nice to have been checked out of it for quite a while. Like, ever since we got to the deadline, right, and everything was like, all right, yeah, it's basically going to happen. We're just going to extend it. CMA is working with us, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And this is kind of, I've been like, since then, I haven't paid really any attention to it. And then this came out. I'm like, oh, okay. And this is moving along, right? And you don't really have to talk too much about this. There's not, so like, that's nice. It's nice that we're not like, beating our heads against the wall over this damn story and every piece of news that comes with it.
Right. Well, we were talking about Sony in all of this, of course, and it's time to switch to PlayStation now. And of course, we had the announcement of the portable PlayStation. It's called the PlayStation Portal. It's launching later this year for $199. And a lot of people are saying, it would have probably have been better for Sony to release this at $149. I don't know. I'll let you talk about that, Burley. But $199, and also the news that this does not come with Bluetooth. Of course, Bluetooth compatibility. Yeah. So take it away, Burley. What's going on here with this PlayStation Portal and the situation with the Bluetooth compatibility?
Yeah, this thing, we still don't even have a release date. That's the one thing. They drop all this details and say it's coming this year, and it's like, we're August 26th. Like, when are we going to get this date here? Like, come on, you should be. We should have an idea by now when this is coming out. $199. I don't like that price. I still think if you could have got this, even without the Bluetooth, down to $99 US, you'd move some units because it's cheap.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
at that price.
But Sony will never sell it for $99.
No, they'll never sell it for that. Yeah. Like, from what I saw on like hands-on previews, it looks okay, but we are missing so much information on this. They're not telling you battery size or anything, so you have no idea on battery. And one of the big things that also, besides the Bluetooth, is huge because they're wanting you to go to their PlayStation headphones. And all those are retailing at $199. Those little earbuds, $199 US. So if you want the complete package, so you don't have to have wired headphones, $400 US, which is absolutely ridiculous. Plus, you can't, even if you spent that $400, you have to have a PS5 already to use this device. So the barrier to entry is so expensive. I don't know what Sony is thinking on this. Like,
yeah, and I was just gonna add, Burley, that reports are claiming that the battery life as well on this thing is about 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, which doesn't surprise me because that's your Switch, that's your Steam Deck, your Asus ROG Ally, all these kind of devices.
Yeah, but it's not. The thing is, it's not a local device, right? It's just streaming it from your PS5, so the battery life should be, you think, much better.
Yes and no. This is a 1080 screen, 8-inch screen, so
it's LCD, right? LCD.
Yeah. LCD.
I think they're just putting a smaller battery in it, basically.
Oh, I'm sure they could have put a bigger battery, and did stuff like that to make it better. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's nice that you do get the adaptive triggers, but one thing that's so stupid is if you are a PS Plus Extra or Premium subscriber, and you have the option to stream games, you can't stream them on this device.
Yeah, the PS5 games especially.
It's only whatever's locally stored on your PS5.
Huh.
So it just is so, and you can't use this even if you had. And you have to have a PS5 to use this. You can't use it even if you had, like, they should have made this PS4 compatible.
Yeah, backwards compatible. That would have been awesome.
Oh, well, I only just mean like PS4, so that way if you have a PS4 console, you could use this device with your PS4. Like, you can still stream PS4 games from your PS5, but it's like they put so many knocks on this thing. It's like the PSVR 2, where there's so much against it. Like, in the PSVR 2 was like, and we're gonna launch with this high price, and it's like, you're more than the console. You're out of here. You're nuts. This thing is, you need the console. They could have, like, $149 would have been a better price.
Yeah.
$99, I still feel like is the most I would want to see anyone pay for this, because all it is you have to have the PS5. Yeah, it's nice you can do the remote play. I'm at my parents' here. If my PS5 is in my apartment, I could do it and boot up my PS5 and continue playing some games.
Yeah, for example, I was just gonna say, Burley, sorry to butt in, but when I had my PS4 Pro and PS4, the base PS4 when it first came out, I used to use the Vita for remote play a lot.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm sure a lot of PlayStation players that back during that generation were using their Vitas for remote play. They're going to be picking these up. And it's going to probably sell well with those type of gamers that are heavily into remote play and have been doing it since the PS4 generation. Go ahead.
But if you're heavy into remote play, guess what? Remote play like you said, has been around since the Vita. It works on anything. I can have it on my phone. I can have it on my tablet. So your Android or iPads. You can even, I've seen stuff, you can get it working on the Steam Deck if you sit and are willing to sit and take the time and configure it. They already have you already have devices that most likely you have a device in your home that already can do this, to do the remote play. You just have to download the app, spend 15 minutes and set it up. And so it's like, I can't, like, this thing is the nichest of niche. It's got so much stuff against it. So, like, these things are going to sit there. I can't see them lasting more than a year. Sony doesn't have a track record of, sticking by hardware. They killed the Vita pretty quick. They've killed a lot of stuff quick. The Move and all that. So it's like, if you buy one of these, how long are you going to continue to get updates and stuff like this? And this isn't going to be like the Switch. Like, I know the Switch, years after its life, finally got Bluetooth. Sony isn't going to be that kind and give you Bluetooth on that, because they're sticking, because they want you to buy their place.
They're dedicated to
They said, we're going to now license out our PlayStation Link, I think it's called, for their how they're doing their headphones, to other headphones manufacturers. But you're still not going to get it cheap, like much cheaper headphones, and then now you got to buy something different. Like, I have these Razors at my parents' that I use for my computer. The nice thing is the USB-C dongle. I can throw it into my Switch, I can throw it into my PS5, my Xbox, anything, and it'll just work. I don't have to sit there and do a bunch of configuring. I got headphones for pretty much I can use them on any device, which is great. Yeah. Now that it's not going to work for this, because they're going to want me to buy the PlayStation brand one, or Razer, or all these other manufacturers going to have to make their own.
There's a USB
PlayStation
dongle.
Portal one.
There's a USB dongle for that PlayStation Link thing. I don't know if it comes with the devices. I would hope it does, but you never know. They like to nickel and dime you for all these things.
Yeah. So anyway,
I think the $199 price isn't terrible, I'll say, because you could have gone less, but this is an enthusiast device, and they definitely need to make a profit on every unit. Like, there's no point in trying to sell this thing at a loss. Like, you're not really going to get a return on your investment.
So you're saying that if they sold it at $149, they would be selling at a loss?
I assume so. I mean, what do they sell the DualSense itself at?
$89 here, so $100 here in Canada.
It's like Nana Senkihaku, it's like about 8,000 yen here in Japan.
So you take that price, right, and then you throw in this 8-inch 1080p 60 FPS display, right, which is nice. That's a good amount. And then you got your batteries, and then all your other Wi-Fi and components you need to actually make this thing work, right? I'm sure there's some processors and things, and that's where your cost is. I don't think you can get much lower. You could have made a couple other choices that I think would have been better, like, get rid of the adaptive triggers and have Bluetooth instead. Right? Like, I don't really want to. I know, like, some people might like that. I don't think that feature is very popular. I don't think I want to be fighting triggers on my, like, mobile device, like my handheld, like, screen. That doesn't sound like a good idea. So put Bluetooth in there.
Well, they should have threw Bluetooth. Bluetooth was a minimum they should have done. I get it, the adaptive triggers, because they're still pushing the adaptive triggers. And once you've played games with the adaptive triggers, and when they use them well, when they really use them well, like I know X-Pac can agree with me, it's so fun when they do use them. But the cost also of doing that is drains the freaking DualSense battery. A lot. So the battery on this, I can't imagine more than.
That's another thing. Battery life, right?
4 hours.
If you're thinking about battery life, get rid of adaptive triggers. Get rid of haptics. Like, those are. I don't care about those features. I get it. Like, I know why it's there. I understand. I just personally don't need those things. And if that they won't make that decision, I know.
Yeah.
So I have two questions. Okay, is it a touchscreen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wondering because no, I don't see that, and I don't see me saying that. But like,
on the left and right side are the touchpads.
Right.
Like the touchpads are somewhere on there.
Yeah, on that screen. So when you tap on the screen, it'll show you the two areas on the left and right side of where the touchpad. So if you wanted to touch the touchpad,
I had to assume. But is it a full touchscreen, or is it just to utilize the touchpad mechanic and something?
It is a full touchscreen for as far as I know.
So like, if I want to I want to play Spider-Man 2. I just tap it on my screen and okay. That's cool. That's good. And then the other one is, does it have speakers?
I believe it does, but I don't know how good the quality of speakers are going to be on that device. And I'll be completely honest with you. If I'm going to use that device, if I was to buy one, I'm not going to sit there in speakers. I would
probably not.
They're pushing. They're pushing the the elite. Yeah, the elite headsets as well as the earbuds.
I really hate that because I kind of feel like it might not even have speakers. I haven't seen any confirmation of that, but I'm sure they'd be terrible, right? If they are. And it's funny because they had the 3.5 millimeter jack, which is nice because they're forcing you to buy their proprietary wireless stuff. But so many people have gotten rid of all those devices because everybody's devices don't have them anymore. Like I bought this Pixel 7 phone. And I completely forgot to even look into the fact if it had a 3.5 millimeter jack. Like I usually want that, but I'm actually got to the point now where I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't care about it when I bought it, and I didn't realize I just don't need it anymore because everybody's just got a wireless thing at this point. Yeah. So
it's either wireless or you're sticking that USB-C thing with the headphone dongle. Like I have the S23, and the mainline Samsungs got rid of them years ago. It's the A lines that kept them.
Okay.
So like the cost of entry is really high if you want to use it as sort of ideally, right? Like you need a PS5, you need this device, you need one of those two headset things. So I mean, we're talking what? 4, 2, and then what was the cheapest? The buds. What do the buds cost?
$199 US.
200. And what is the headset? The fancy headset? Is that
the fancy? Less? I think you can get for because I can get them for $129 Canada, so they're probably $89 US.
All right, maybe they're probably 100. I bet the wireless because the Xbox ones. So you're talking $700 minimum US to use this sort of ideally.
And then you got to buy all your games and all that. Your PS Plus.
Exactly.
And PSVR 2.
You have to buy
for another $600. Yeah.
Well, they've said PSVR 2 games are not compatible with this, and it's I didn't expect. Hey, if I could buy the Portal and get the PSVR games on there, and I don't have to buy the PSVR 2,
right?
Then the Portal would make sense, and people would be lining up to buy the Portal.
Right.
I think this device is dead on arrival.
Well, we'll see, but I mean, hats off to Sony for making all these little hardware configurations and getting them out there to gamers that want to have them. So
I get it. I understand the device because I want something that has a controller and a screen of a good size. I think 8 inches is a good size.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
To play my games from my console somewhere else. It's just. The way this does it, the price and the specificness of the headphone thing, it's just not great. But if you're a big PlayStation person, it's probably something you might want.
Yeah. All right. So next up, Carl, I know you're excited. Burley, I know you're excited for Starfield. We all are. Starfield's coming out.
The world is excited.
Yeah. There's a lot of people. We talked about this last week that there's a lot of people out. Well. I don't know about a lot of people, but I'll backtrack on that. I'll say some people are out there with review codes and they're reviewing the game. The embargo is lifted on the 31st. So we're going to see a boatload of reviews come out on August 31st. And then if you get the premium edition, you can start playing from September 1st. Everybody else, September 6th, the game is coming out. And we got this story about Starfield has new game plus, but, quote, with a unique and exciting twist, unquote. So I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit of that for you. And I'm going to go ahead and play some of the trailers for Starfield as I read a little bit of this for you. So this is from GamesRadar.com. Starfield has a new Game Plus mode, ensuring you can keep playing Bethesda's enormous sci-fi RPG even after you eventually roll credits. And Carl, I think they were saying, I don't know if it was Todd Howard or not saying this, but it's like it doesn't start getting really interesting until you've finished the story, the main story quest. That's when it really starts to get interesting. So. But anyway, Starfield has a new game plus mode, ensuring you can keep playing Bethesda's enormous sci-fi RPG even after you eventually roll credits. That's according to a new GQ interview featuring Bethesda boss Todd Howard, Starfield lead Emil Pagliarulo, and several other members of the Bethesda team. GQ writes that Starfield, quote, gives you the flexibility and options to carve out a unique identity and even adds a unique and exciting twist on New Game Plus to incentivize continued and repeat play, end quote. So my question to you guys is, does New Game Plus matter to you in playing a game of this magnitude and of this size? Carl, I'll start with you on this one.
This is interesting because prior to today, I didn't know this. I missed this story, right? Mm-hmm. I do like this idea a lot. For this type of game, I think it's really cool because it is a type of game where I intend to keep playing it even after I've rolled credits, right?
Yeah.
And generally speaking, these games let you do that, and it's not a thing you have to worry about.
Yeah.
So a new game plus is interesting because it implies that I guess you can sort of just end the story. I don't know if it's going to be a choice. I kind of imagine they might let you can keep playing, or if you do this specific thing, it will warn you, right? Like this is going to end your game, and you can do a new game plus, and whatever that adds to your next game. I mean, that's great because I will try that because I will play this type of game as I do with Skyrim.
Oh yeah,
and Fallout series multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can continue something about a previous playthrough, that's actually a really exciting idea for this game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Burley, your thoughts on the new game?
Well, this is very interesting because a lot of Bethesda games don't really have a new game plus. Spoilers for Fallout 3. When you end that game, you got to load a previous save. You're done.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. A lot of the Bethesda games you don't. When you finish the plot, like Oblivion, I know you can. After the plot, you can still go around the world. Just some stuff is locked off because
Skyrim, you can keep playing. Fallout 4, you can keep playing.
Okay, I was gonna say Fallout 4. I don't remember. And Fallout New Vegas. Once you've ended. You got to reload previous saves. So. It's interesting to see the new game plus, but having to play, you haven't really played till you've experienced new game plus. Okay, they're hyping this up. This better pay off because a lot of new game pluses, I find I start the first bit of new game plus and then be like, I don't care. And just get bored and move on to another game.
Yeah, I just don't see myself using New Game Plus. I mean, I just want to, once the credits roll, I'm just going to keep going on. I'm just, unlike you, Carl, I know you want to play as different characters and all, and that's awesome. But mm-hmm. I think I'm probably going to be content with one particular character once I build that character. And then I'm just going to continue going on. Like, I was telling Burley, like the 5-year mission, kind of like, how Star Trek is, to explore strange new worlds. I'm serious. I mean, I'm probably.
And then after 5 years, you're like, I'm done. I'm going home.
No, I'm not done.
Mission accomplished.
Maybe by then I'll do New Game Plus.
Like my tour of duty has ended. I will move on.
Yeah.
The 5-year mission's done. I got to go to the cage.
Yeah. There you go, Burley. Yeah. So I'll make like a Captain Pike, type of character. Yeah, but shout out to Strange New Worlds, amazing show. So I just don't see myself using it. I mean, I'm going to be playing this game for so long and probably using, the character that I customize and just continue with it. So I don't know, that's just my preference, but I'm sure a lot of people, like, Carl, you're included in this, that are probably going to, love to utilize the New Game Plus and to create new characters, or to try to experience situations that you did in the first playthrough again to see how they would turn out differently. So yeah.
I've always been a fan of New Game Plus. Whether or not I use it that much, nowadays, probably not, because it's a time constraint, right? So,
yeah.
I want to move on to something else. But there are a lot of games, this type of particular game, these type of deep RPGs, where I do play multiple playthroughs.
Yeah.
So a New Game Plus is exciting in that it lets me do that as part of the game, instead of, it's like, oh, I just kind of started a new game, right? You can do that in any video game, right? It's not special that way. But when you have New Game Plus, that makes it special, because it always adds some different aspect, extra thing that you carry over, or something that's a little different for some reason.
Right.
I mean, I use New Game Plus. I guess the last game was probably Fire Emblem Three Houses, probably.
I think the last game I used New Game Plus was Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I think
they have that in that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have it in those.
It's a weird one to have it. But I guess
I mean, but you get to keep all of your abilities and everything
right,
from the beginning. So that's why I liked it.
And that's a thing, like, why I'm surprised, but also, like, I think it's good and makes a lot of sense, because that's a feature that a lot of people expect now in most modern video games.
Yeah.
Especially with RPG elements.
Yeah.
So the fact that there's never been one in a Bethesda game like this, and now there is, shows that they're like, we're gonna, we want to take some modern trends. We don't want to be like, head in the sands, just not paying attention to what anyone else is doing.
Right. Burley, a question for you. When you play Spider-Man 2, are you going to use New Game Plus?
Oh yeah, no, I'm
definitely yes.
Well, especially with like the whole Peter and Miles.
Yeah,
I got to see how certain scenes play out as the different characters. That I'm definitely going to do. But like this, I'm curious. I want to see one thing I would like to see with because they're touting their New Game Plus. I would like is if I do New Game Plus, it to remember the choices I did.
Yeah.
So that way, in certain like choices that are major story ones, would be like give you a little reminder. Hey, when you played your first playthrough, you went with this faction on here.
Yeah.
Maybe try this.
Yeah.
Point me that, because I like that when you do New Game Plus well, and I get to see how certain other things, instead of having to boot a new character, make a whole new character, and re-go through the whole story again, just to see for the certain changes in what different pathways and my choices make.
Yeah.
It would be nice to bring my character. But some of these New Game Pluses, when you go do New Game Plus, you play the game and you are way too powerful.
Yeah. But I like that. I like that.
That's part of the fun, right?
That's part of the fun.
But it is part of the fun. But when it's an easier game, it's like, and you're like, an enemy just tries to hit you, they die because you're too powerful.
Yeah. Oh, triangle strategy. I did the New Game Plus in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is not easy. It's
No,
not.
it is not.
If you leave the same difficulty on, you start at the beginning of the game where all the enemies are like a little bit stronger and they're all the same level or like higher. And man, those first few battles where you don't have a full squad are really hard.
Yep, you best that I can't remember if I did finish Triangle Strategy on the New Game Plus, because it does get difficult, especially if you do not know how to strategize.
I did it, but I cheat. Well, I say I cheated. I dropped down to easy because
I don't blame you. I probably did the same, but I can't remember.
Yeah, normal was challenging, and I didn't want to put in the time it would have taken to get through it at that level.
So I think New Game Plus is going to be, I think, used by a certain type of gamer, as we've talked about. I mean, but I think a lot of it revolves around the type of game that it is as well. So
One thing
it's
that's
gonna be interesting.
I think unique about the Bethesda RPG is that this might actually incentivize more people to go through the main story to get to the New Game Plus point.
Yeah,
because a lot of people do just kind of like go out and just play whatever and do all the amazing, interesting other side content and kind of forget about the main quest. So
one future Xbox Studios game that I'm so much looking forward to playing, and damn it, they better have new Game Plus in it, and I'm sure they will, is Hellblade 2. I mean, because I will play the hell out of New Game Plus with Hellblade 2 for sure. Yeah.
Did the first Hellblade have a New Game Plus?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It might have. Let us know in the comments. I don't remember. Yeah. I did not play it a second time. I played it one time through, and then I got sidetracked on other games. But yeah.
It's weird when a game adds a New Game Plus later. Like it's not there at launch. I'm like, that's. I mean, I get a lot of people aren't going to utilize it very quickly, right? But
it does have
it's the resale value, and people, the developers and the company that's developing the game trying to make more profit off of it. So obviously,
and it's a feature you can add later too, because it doesn't really change the main game. So
okay, guys. It's time to get to the topic of the show. So obviously, this last week, going through till tomorrow is the final day of Gamescom. But let's go ahead and talk about Gamescom and the things that we liked about it. Some of the hits and misses of Gamescom, whether it was opening night live or the PC game show or whatever you saw there. So I'm going to go ahead and get our little trailer going here. And Burley, I'll start with you. What did you like about Gamescom? What were some of the hits and misses, you think, from what we got? What were your takeaways of Gamescom 2023?
One of the misses is they did not learn from the Game Awards. Have some security so people cannot rush the stage. The Austin 316, we want Grand Theft Auto. Like after the Game Awards, you think Keighley would realize and prepare, but no. I guess people, they don't learn.
Kind of like what was it at the Game Awards? That one kid, he went up on stage I think it was last year, right?
Yeah, Rabbi Bill Clinton.
Yeah. You guys are doing it, Carl, you and Fryman and Burley, right? I think. So you were doing that the live reactions and everything,
but some of the hits, I did like seeing some of Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. It was nice to see some gameplay on that. We got very limited, but it was nice to see that because that is supposed to be coming this year. Wanting to see more and showing off this game here. I always
Wukong.
Yeah.
Black Man. And Wukong and Lords of the Fallen getting more shown off of these games.
Yeah, this was really cool, and I also liked. I don't have it in the trailer compilation here, but Crimson Desert. I mean, even though it's one of those massive MMOs, I mean, it looks beautiful from the Korean developer. I think Black Desert was the predecessor to it, but I mean that game look. If that game, and I think we talked about this before, Carl. We showed it once on one of the episodes, and if this game looks the way it does in the trailers that they show, boy oh boy, a lot of people will be jumping to play that MMO, especially live streamers. Burley, boy, man, because remember when New World came out? A lot of people got into that. When Crimson Desert comes out, that's going to be huge on the streaming front. But anyway. So.
Yeah, this Black Myth Wukong game looks really cool. It's nice to see it, in a more playable form. It looks like. Yeah, and I think people did actually play. Maybe played. I don't remember if they said that they did. I think they did.
I think there was a playable demo there.
Yeah. It looks very much like Sekiro.
Sekiro,
that type of a game. I don't really think it doesn't look very like I know there's Souls aspects to Sekiro, right? But it seems more Sekiro than Dark Souls, which is cool. Sekiro is a game I'm interested in maybe trying one day. I know it's really hard,
Oh, it's like
so that might not be
Dark Souls style.
It's break your controller hard.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
Same opening night live. I didn't actually watch it. I was actually working, so I didn't watch it live. So I don't know. I don't know how it felt. I don't. From what I've gathered after the fact, like there wasn't a lot of like people were excited about what was shown. And to be fair, it was an event where the expectations were pretty much set as like we're not going to reveal anything big.
Yeah. Not too many reveals, just a lot of new information on games that we've already seen. And we did get some release dates, like Tekken 8. We got the release date for that. I think Sonic, what was it, Burley? Sonic All Stars, I think it was.
Superstars. Actually, they showed like the opening night, because I watched most of it live. I was working, but work didn't know what was on the other monitor, so it didn't matter.
So you guys are lucky out there in the West, man. Here in Japan, it was like middle of the night. I was sleeping, so I had to, besides all the other content that we do here on the Arena Productions, and me, producing everything, I bit by bit, little by little, I was able to watch some of the highlights of these shows. But go ahead, Burley.
Yeah, overall, this was pretty weak. Like you had a few stuff, like they showed a little bit. They're showing the Cyberpunk stuff, so you had like stuff like Cyberpunk, Sonic Superstars. Even though I'm not happy with the price of that game, going full price for a 2D Sonic game, it looked neat. And then them showing the Sonic Frontiers free DLC that we're getting in September, giving the teaser for that, which I'm happy for, because that game I really did enjoy. So hey, free DLC a year later to add to it, I'm all on board. But like this felt like E3 light.
Yeah.
Like
well, isn't every Gamescom kind of E3 light? I mean, before E3 started to collapse, it was Gamescom was pretty much E3 light.
It depends on what you mean by that, right? It's like E3 light in regards to major announcements, but Gamescom is the bigger public event.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm
Europe,
going, but in terms of announcements, like the opening night live to me was like how most of the PlayStation their showcases,
like the state of plays, right?
Kind of like a plays, kind of like a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, 3 out of 5. It's middling, Matt. You'll get the few things you want. There are things you want to see there, and you're like, oh, this is interesting to me. But then it's just like, like the stuff showing more of Alan Wake 2. That was cool.
Yeah.
The small little thing with Assassin's Creed Mirage, them showing, hey, we're gonna have Arabic and other languages.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And showing more of Baghdad and all, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat 1, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I did watch that story trailer, and I'm really interested in what they're doing in the story. Yeah. I like that. I'm not gonna play it because I'm not a Mortal Kombat guy, but I like what they're doing.
Yeah, we got the Starfield here, the kind of like the cinematic type of
the live action thing.
Yeah, live action,
which is cool, very well done. I mean, I don't really care about these live action things, but it's neat.
Neat to have just before it launches. Yeah.
Yeah. So, the Age of Empires 4 on Xbox Shadow Drop was there, I think.
Yeah.
Yep, that was a shadow drop. That was nice. But like this thing is this didn't, the way the trailers were going, it did not flow very well. And then like near the middle of it, or a little bit after the halfway point, they had Zack Snyder come out on stage and be like, here's this movie. Here's our rip-off Star Wars, Rebel Moon. And it just was like, no, dude. Yeah. Like it slowed the whole pace down. Like,
honestly, that's what he has to do now. I mean, he's got to have some big movie star or movie director come on stage. I mean, that
was announced beforehand, so if I was watching, I'd have been like, all right. I mean, I know this is coming, so I'd have been prepared.
See, I actually didn't know that was coming, but like one of the things is at the beginning of the show, they had a guy just sitting on his couch, and the mic quality was so bad for him.
Oh no.
It was horrible. And it's like, and then they toss it to Keeley. They spend like 10 minutes with him, and it was like, why are you doing this? Like, this was just like bad quality, waste of time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, Ara History Untold they showed gameplay of that for the first time, which I know not a lot of people are going to care, and it's not even something that I'm probably going to play, but that I do know that's a Microsoft PC exclusive game right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of like Civilization type game. The Diablo 4 Season of Blood thing sounds interesting.
Yeah, the second season.
Yeah.
But that one was just here you go. Here's CG images, static images shown.
Right.
Like it wasn't actually any gameplay.
Yeah.
So it's just like
this is, and I just want to chime in here. This Little Nightmares 3. I'm really excited for this.
That was a new announcement. Yeah.
Yeah. That was cool. So I'm looking forward to it.
Co-op Little Nightmares.
The dev on this is new, right? It says Supermassive, because I remember there was a story that the dev of this was bought by someone and that they weren't going to make the games anymore because they're having to make something else. I forgot who the original developer was.
Yeah,
I'll have to look into that in a minute. But Dustborn was something new that, again, one of those sort of narrative-driven type games.
Mm-hmm.
Looks kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the Zenless Zone Zero, the next MiHoYo verse.
Yeah,
or Hoyo verse. Sorry.
Yeah, Japanese game. Yeah,
Chinese.
Yeah, Chinese. Yeah, but it's very, very Japanese style.
People were expecting a PlayStation announcement on that, but they didn't have that.
No.
So that's PC mobile only.
Yeah.
I was still surprised because they said there was supposed to be some kind of PlayStation showing, other than the Portal thing for there, because it was on site there. I would have thought we would have got something for Spider-Man 2, just a small showing to remind people, hey, this game is coming October.
Burley, I'm really hoping for when it comes to Little Nightmares 2 that you can play co-op like It Takes Two in Little Nightmares 3. That would be so
well,
cool.
Yeah, they said it is co-op Little Nightmares 3.
That's gonna be great.
Yeah, so Little Nightmares was some
and
other
here's
studio,
Alan Wake
right?
2.
Tarsier Studio. And then the second game, I guess, Supermassive worked on the enhanced edition.
Okay.
And I guess that's why they're making the third. They're sort of tied.
Yeah. Alan Wake 2 here looks pretty spooky. Yeah.
I watched these trailers and this live action thing. Oh, by the way, the guy right there, the host, was Martian Manhunter and Supergirl.
Yeah.
Okay. Did not know that.
Yeah. I watched these trailers and I'm like, did nothing for me. I don't get the hype for this game. I don't know. Maybe is there like a longer form gameplay that came out of this during Gamescom? Because everything I see this game, I'm like, cool, atmospheric story is probably interesting, spooky, weird. But when I'm playing game, is it fun? Is it cool? Because I don't see that.
I see it. It's gonna be a mix of the first Alan Wake game and Control, because you saw in some of those clips there, it looked completely like the game Control, which is made by the same developer. So here.
But Control is you have superpowers. In this game, you're just a person with a gun, and a flashlight.
You never know.
No, you're
some other weird things probably.
You're a writer, but the thing is you're not just playing as Alan this time. You're playing as that one girl, and they're saying they're hinting she's got something unique.
Yeah.
So I'm interested with Alan Wake 2 because I did play the first game when they ported it to PS4.
Yeah, it was like
PS4.
A remastered version, right? Right, bro?
Yeah, and it was unlike Rockstar, they sold it at a good price.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And the story interests me. And it's like, ooh, and it gave you all the DLC, and I enjoyed it. It's just this having over 13 years since the last Alan Wake game, just having all this time and to see what they've done and all the stuff that they've learned since making the original Alan Wake, with the stuff with like Control and all that. Be interesting to see how this game comes out.
Yeah.
I watched some of the Xbox live streams that they did. They did like 3 days, starting at 10, I think. Well, here it's 10 o'clock. And some of it was, it's always fun. It's interviews. It's that type of thing where they're talking to the developers. They're sitting there at Gamescom, right? Like at the event, which is
they're
cool.
at the showroom floor. Yeah.
Yeah, they're live at the event. They come on. Sometimes they're playing games live. So like they played Towerborn live with the devs, and we're talking about that. And Towerborn looks really cool. Towerborn looks fun. It's like a game that I would really try, and I think could get a following and continue to be played.
Yeah.
I thought what was really interesting was the Age of Empires 4, like developers talking about what they had to do to make it work on consoles, all the changes they've made,
right,
and the choices, the reasons why, and a lot of stuff's very interesting. A lot of people think that this stuff is so simple, and I think you should watch that discussion. So you understand what it takes to put something like a very mouse keyboard driven game onto a console. It's not just like, all right, put it on there. You could, but then it'd be terrible.
Well, the K key is obviously the X button on the Xbox controller. It's simple, Carl. It takes 5 minutes. They're just lazy. They don't know what they're doing. No, I'm kidding. I know from working in tech, stuff like that is just insane. The amount of, and then you've got to get it working, and especially with Microsoft having both the two different versions of the Series S and X, trying to get everything, because you want to make it stable and run well on both, and see what's the best you can get on both.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how Baldur's Gate 3 plays on console.
Yeah,
I know there's controller support already on PC. But one of the things they talked about is the fact that, like, one of the big differences between PC and console is that on PC, you're a few feet from your keyboard, your screen, right? I can touch my monitor.
Right.
It's like 2 feet away from my face. Could be closer. I'm leaning in.
Yeah.
But your TV screen is like way across the room, somewhere. And that changes how you can use and look at UI and your fine point, be able to push and look at things and touch things. So that's something that I'm sure they have accounted for with the Baldur's Gate 3. We'll see how well they do it on console.
Yeah. Well, so another Gamescom in the books. Tomorrow's the last day. So when this episode goes up, and of course, next up is a Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering what kind of announcements we're going to get there. We're probably going to get a ton of Atlas announcements.
I'm excited.
Ton of Sega and Capcom stuff. So PlayStation, probably have some announcements, but probably nothing new, just some updates probably. But, Microsoft will be there. So
Xbox,
we shall see.
They've been representing at TGS for years now.
Yeah.
And those showcases, while smaller announcements, have been good if you like Japanese games. So I'm really excited for that.
Games like, say, Hi-Fi Rush. I mean, they might have some gems like that up their sleeve that they might throw out and surprise us with next month. So
they've had big Game Pass announcements of games coming to the platform, Japanese games that weren't there, hitting Game Pass day one. The reason I'm really excited this year is because I have an expectation now that Square Enix games will show up.
Yeah.
Right. We had that, talk, and I do feel that they're going to have something ready to say, like, this is coming to Xbox, launching into Game Pass, like maybe Octopath Traveler 2, right? That makes a lot of sense.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they had the developers for Like a Dragon Gaiden last week talk about a playable demos coming out for Like a Dragon 8. And that's going to be coming to Game Pass as well.
I saw that story that said that it's part of the other game, the man without a name, or whatever.
The man erased
the man who erased his name. Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of Kiryu, he's going to be called Joryu. No.
The story, which I'm like, that's so silly. But anyway, the story said that you had to beat the game to get to play the demo of Infinite Wealth, which is like, that sounds really dumb. But
that'd be stupid if they did that.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Infinite Wealth show up, show actual gameplay, because we had it at the Xbox showcase, so that'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll probably get some there for sure.
And don't worry, Carl, the TTS, there will be no red wedding there for Microsoft.
Right, thank you. We're safe this year.
All right. All right. So next up is our picks of the week. So you can check out all the games that are coming out this week and beyond over at releases.com. So our picks of the week are for the week of August 28th through September 3rd. Carl, I think
I'm first.
You are up first this time. So what do you have for us?
I chose Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And this is brought to you by Team Reptile, is a futuristic realm conceived by Dion Coaster, where graffiti crews armed with personal booster packs vie for dominance over the city streets. Establish your own cipher and engage in dance-offs, create graffiti art, gather beats, perform trick combos, and confront the police to lay claim to the vast metropolis of New Amsterdam.
Man, the art style. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, a graffiti artist who has lost his organic head, only to have it replaced with an AI-driven robotic one. Okay. In a quest to unearth his origins, Red joins the Bomb Rush crew alongside Trice and Bell, who have set their sights on becoming All City. Together, they gradually uncover who was responsible for severing Red's head, and they explore how deeply Red's human element is intertwined with the graffiti universe. And this is coming on Friday, September 1st to PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S.
Man, I forgot how long of a description that was.
That was a long one, and that was a long one. Did not read it beforehand. I did not expect that head chopping off stuff.
I didn't think you did, Carl. Yeah.
But yeah,
basically it's Jet Set Radio, isn't it? Pretty much.
It's Jet Set Radio with a weird story, apparently. Yeah. Reviews are out on this game, and there's a couple. There's not too many reviews out, and it's in the mid range, 7s or so.
What this looks like to me, it's like a mix. I mean, the art style looks a lot like Hi-Fi Rush in a way, and it's kind of like a mix between Hi-Fi Rush and Sunset Overdrive. With all the rail spinning and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's that aspect, right?
That aspect of it. So,
I'm sure that was inspired by Jet Set.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure. Yeah. All right, I'm up next, guys. So yeah, I mean, if there's a Mega Man game out, of course it's not Mega Man here in Japan. In Japan, we call him Rock Man. But in the West, of course, he's Mega Man. So when a Mega Man game comes out, whatever it is, I'm gonna pick it. So, so my pick of the week: Mega Man X Dive Offline, the newest entry in the hit action series Mega Man X, makes its way to Steam and smartphones. Strengthen your characters and weapons with a variety of power-ups to make them all your own. Then test them out in the side-scrolling action of What If worlds in Mega Man X. So out for Android, iOS, and PC. So it's on in the Steam store. So yeah, you can get it on PC as well. So well, Carl, why are you laughing?
Because it's a gacha waifu game.
Daisuki Dayo. I love those type of waifu games. Yeah.
Wrong with waifu games?
It's Mega Man. Come on, man.
It's funny. I'm like, look, it's Mega Man, and you got all like the regular Mega Man characters, and then every once in a while you see some of the female characters. I'm like, oh boy,
yeah.
Well, here we go.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that in Mega Man games, but all right.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're there now. So
you got Mega Man.exe. You got X. Yep. Yeah, no, this I think is on Steam. It's voted as playable on the Steam Deck. I will have to try.
This would be awesome on the Steam Deck, Burley. Sure. Yes, yeah. We'll do an extra take on this if you get it on the Steam Deck. So yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I'll play it on my laptop. So good stuff.
Hey, I like Mega Man. I love the Mega Man X games. So it seems like they saw what 20XX was doing for years and be like, we should just do this. We haven't done a Mega Man X game since I can't remember if it was X8 or the Command Mission, the RPG one.
Yeah.
So since the early 2000s.
Yeah. All right, Burley, you're up next. What do we got?
Already, what we got for my pick of the week is Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars is a turn-based RPG inspired by the classics. It tells the story of two children of the solstice who combine their powers of the sun and moon to perform eclipse magic, the only force capable of fending off the monstrous creations of the evil alchemist known as the Fleshmancer. So it is coming Tuesday, August 29th to PC, PS4, PS5, Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series. This is a game I kickstarted. I cannot wait. Done by a Canadian studio called Sabotage Studio. They did a game years ago. I think it was 2018 called The Messenger. Highly recommend trying it. It's a lot of fun. The demos have been out on every platform, and it is launching into Game Pass as well as PlayStation Extra. So if you are on either of these services, you get the game. So I highly recommend trying it out, because I've played quite a few. I played the first build as a Kickstarter backer, and I've played some other builds as being a backer in the demos they've released, and it is a lot of fun. They got the composer that did the Chrono Trigger soundtrack. This has got a lot of Chrono Trigger elements, plus the timed hits from Super Mario RPG. So it's just a lot of cool stuff, and the whole breaking stuff from Octopath. This is just a love letter to turn-based RPGs. The nice thing, too, they did, because they want people to experience the story. If you're not so much into turn-based RPGs, but you love what you see and stuff, they have these rings that you can equip that make things easier. So to allow you to go through the game and enjoy the story.
Nice.
It's cool. I did previously say I would definitely play this day one. I did not anticipate Baldur's Gate 3. So
you still have no choice. You have to download it on your Series X.
I will try to make. I'll take a night off.
As Yoda
take
said.
A night off, and I'll jump in. Because the thing is, I don't think I'm gonna. It's the 29th. I have how many days? I guess I got a week and a half before Starfield. Like, if I really dedicated, maybe I can knock this out, because it's probably not that long.
No, it's people. Some reviewers and stuff. It's like a 25-hour game campaign wise, so
yeah,
should be able.
I've already committed to myself that I'm not gonna finish Baldur's Gate 3. Like, I'm not trying to push through that before Starfield. It's not gonna happen probably. So I don't care. Yeah. I could take a break from it.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. So you can go, of course, to releases.com and check out all the games that are releasing this week and beyond into September and through the rest of this year. So, yeah, Carl. Yeah. So Carl getting tired looking at all the games coming out for the rest of this year on releases.com. So anyway, please go and check that out.
2 a.m. playing Baldur's Gate 3. So
I see. Okay. Okay, nice.
You just got to do that. You got to do that for Sea of Stars, and you'll be fine.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, so it's time for our programming announcements for the Arena Productions. So, of course, the Arena Productions YouTube channel is not only video games and game development news. We also do entertainment and pop culture related content. So, Burley and I, we did our episode 1 and 2 recap of Star Wars Ahsoka. So please go and check that out. So Ahsoka is here, and we're getting Ahsoka on Tuesdays on Disney Plus. So expect our recaps and discussion episodes out either Wednesdays or Thursdays after the episodes drop. So episode 1 and 2 recap is up now. So please go and check that out. And after this episode, we're going to be recording Star Trek Strange New World Season 2 review. So we're going to be reviewing the entire season and discussing it. So we'll be putting that up shortly. So stay tuned for that as well. And we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/thearena productions, where all of our content here goes up ad-free. And we also have exclusive content like our post shows and our monthly news updates for Marvel, Star Wars, and Star Trek. So please go and check out our Patreon, patreon.com/thearena productions. and help support our content. We would really appreciate it. So thank you so much for all of your support, and thank all our existing patrons, of course, for all of your support and watching all of our content. We really appreciate it. So thank you so much. So, all right. So let's talk about the games that we're going to be playing this upcoming week. I'm going to be starting back into streaming again, either tomorrow or into like early next week. And I will be playing Diablo 4. And then on the side, when I'm not streaming, I'm going to be playing, trying to finish Jedi Survivor, as well as Tears of the Kingdom. So, Burley, how about you? What are you going to be playing?
I'll be playing some Sea of Stars, obviously, next week on Tuesday. Once that comes out, that's my main focus. I'm going to try and see if I can get some time to finish Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart on the Steam Deck.
Nice.
And if I can get some time, maybe pick up Baldur's Gate 3 and play it.
Nice.
Wait, where are you playing Sea of Stars?
That's the thing. I have the Steam key coming. I have a PS4 key. I pretty much have it on everything.
He's going to play it everywhere, Carl.
Yeah,
everywhere.
You got Game Pass. You got it there.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't have it for the Switch.
Oh, no. I guess you'll buy a physical copy for the Switch, right?
I actually have a physical PS5 version because I kickstarted. Okay. That's next year coming.
Nice.
You got to get that little cartridge,
Yeah. Carl, how about you? What are you going to be playing this upcoming week? Continuing Baldur's Gate 3, I assume?
Yeah, definitely more Baldur's Gate 3. I'll take a night off and I'll start Sea of Stars and see if that really grabs me. I mean, I should, right? I know I like that style. Chrono Trigger is one of my all-time favorite video games, so
yeah,
I should.
Yeah.
Cool. But we'll see. And since the way my schedule is at work, it looks like I'm going to be on 1 week, off the next. On 1 week, off the next. So I won't be on next week. So by the time I'm back, I will have been playing Starfield.
Nice. All right. So before we end the show, of course, we do a indie recording artist spotlight. So we focus and we talk about an indie recording artist and their music, and we go through the information about them before we finish the show. So this week's spotlight is on Vezsha. With an affinity for experimental sounds inspired by visuals, electronic producer Vezsha blends field recordings, high-energy atmospheric sounds, and dry percussive elements into musical textures to create a highly original sound of his own. From his album titled Particles, and the song is called From Dust. So this has been The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 143. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burleyman Gaming and Turn-Based Carl. We hope to catch you next week for the next episode. So until then, have a great week of gaming, everyone. Take care, and we hope to catch you soon. So take care. Peace out, and enjoy the outro.